Hello everybody and welcome to qualifying here at Zandvoort. We go into the final three races of the season with the championship still yet to be decided between Charlie and Preston with a 24-point difference. Today here at Zandvoort we have a track distance of 2.6 miles with an elevation change of 8.9 meters. 14 corners make up this 2.6 mile track with 4 turns to the right and 10 to the left. The last two seasons here at Zandvoort, we have seen Carl take both the win and pole last season in Zandvoort. Four out of the six drivers who raced last season here at Zandvoort still on the grid today. Preston last season in qualifying got P5 and then later in that race got a podium, and Jamie was the last man to take the podium spot. As we head into qualifying, we have nothing but pure excitement to see what happens and to see who takes pole.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Zandvoort. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a brilliant day. Hope you're doing right. Good intro again by Peter, I must say. That is for sure. Here we are, I believe for the second time within our league.
Yeah, so 2 out of the 3 seasons we've been here.
That is, well, I'm surprised we didn't come in first season, but it was down to the drivers anyway. As Peter kindly said, it is the third race until the end of the season. It's getting closer and closer within this championship fight. The Charlie and Preston are both looking for whatever points they can use to scrape ahead of the other. Currently, Charlie sits 24 points ahead of Preston. Is there any chance that Preston can come back from this at all?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously opportunities for him. He's got a sprint race up and coming in Brazil, which will be an interesting one. We've also got today's race, and we've also got Abu Dhabi. And Charlie's already he's already retired from qualifying.
What the hell has happened here? This is maddening.
This is Preston the upper hand advantage over Charlie.
Absolutely. Preston will be wondering what the hell has happened. But it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure Charlie will be annoyed, but it doesn't give a good sign that he's going to do well on this track. You know, if he's already binned it in qualifying and it's not even been a minute and a half yet, it could lead to some bad things in the race for him. But, you know, this is good for Preston. I'm sure Preston will be liking to see that notification to say that Charlie has been disqualified, well, not disqualified, has retired from qualifying. So I'm sure he will look to capitalise on this opportunity.
He absolutely will. But whether he can or not is another question entirely, to be honest. But who knows if he can truly take advantage of this or not. He sits in P2. Jamie's on top of him by 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, Jamie is absolutely, well, 0.2 clear, like you've already said, and he's 6 tenths clear of Harry. So Jamie already putting in a decent lap and is on provisional pole. George has put himself in the pits, and then he's now coming out on another lap, or he's still currently sat in the pits. So he's in the pits at the moment. Callum is still in the pits. Those two still yet to put in a time in qualifying.
Absolutely, and I'm sure they will be able to set a time. Whether issues within the car or not will come up, hopefully not. Hopefully they will be able to set that time, but who knows. But as we stated before, could Jamie make something of this race? We know how good he is. He has a few issues here and there. Could he make something of this race right here?
To be honest, I don't really have a clue because Jamie is very inconsistent at the best of times. So I'd have to say I don't know.
And it appears to be a yellow sector 2 and sector 3 here. It's that what the hell is going on today? So far we've had Charlie crash out and now 2 flags. What the hell?
So obviously there's still 2 people to set times, and we all know what George can do, and we all know what Callum can do. Can Callum surprise us with a surprise parting in the top 3?
Potentially, we know that Callum can pull it out of his bag when he wants to. It's whether he truly wants to push for this win or not. He got a podium last race in Japan, so he may be looking to turn that podium into a potential win here.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen him. Yeah, we haven't seen him like win at all. What? Probably since seasons 2, maybe 1. No, seasons 1, wouldn't it?
Be season 2, he won the China Grand Prix. Very, very scuffed win, to be honest. Everyone left. We went to restart. Callum didn't pull out, and he won the race. That's the last time he won.
Fair enough. So.
Who knows? Could Bradley make something of it today? He currently is down in P17, not got a time yet.
I'm sure Brad can get something in as well. You know, we've seen Bradley to do good in the past, and he's always done so well, you know, on certain tracks. So maybe a high-speed track like this can potentially give him a high run-in for a good result.
Very, very, very true, in fact. And, I mean, we do know that Bradley is a good driver. Oh! George has stuck it up in P3 with a 1:12.713, only a tenth, less than a tenth of a second off of Preston here.
Yeah, but he's 3 tenths off of Jamie, and that's what he wants to be looking at. I'm sure he doesn't want to be looking at second place. I'm sure he will set his eyes on pole. So, you know, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will get a pole. Well, maybe he might get pole. I don't know. Who knows yet? You know, we've still got Bradley to set a time as he's just, I think, about to cross the line. And he did cross the line. It's a 10th place for Bradley with a 1:13.7. So it's an alright good time, enough to get him in that top 10. But I'm sure he can find more time. Or maybe this is just a circuit that he doesn't seem to do well on.
Who knows, but Bradley will be looking to improve his time. No matter whether it's a good track or not, he needs to find those points where he can in order to beat Callum in the championship. Because those two are battling away right now, and it is very close between them.
Yes, there's still battles all over the grid, well, in the championship for certain positions. Like I think it's for fight for third, but I think that might be over now. You're still fighting for the championship, and then you've still got Bradley and Callum.
Exactly. Of course, our main focus is the top flight battle for one to crown the Season 3 World Drivers' Champion. But we do not forget the other battles going on in the championship, because we never want to. We want to mention all drivers, want to make sure they're all included, really, you know?
Yeah.
But now, Jamie still on top, still on that provisional pole. Preston cannot find the time he needs. Oh yeah, I spoke too soon.
Preston is now 4 tenths clear of Jamie now. When we thought everything was going Jamie's way, Jamie has now been taken off provisional pole, and Callum's gone, nah, I'm taking that fella.
Yeah, and Preston will be looking to hold that position within this race, because he knows that he needs to find any points he can in the next 3 races to take this championship fight. This, I'm sure, will be going down to Abu Dhabi, because we would love to see that, wouldn't we, Peter?
Yeah, I mean, that's something we'd love to see from a viewer's point. And Harry's been spun out, and as I got interrupted, saying that I think from a viewer's point, we would love to see something like that happen, almost like the real life season.
Of course, and we speak about Harry spinning out. Of course, we go back to Zandvoort Season 2. He DNF'd this race, a very unlucky time for him. He was in that championship fight with Carl. He needed the points. If he won that race, he probably would have taken the championship. But the fact is, he DNF'd that race, and it was a very unlucky time for him. Will that happen again today? Will that unluckiness run? Will he get a bad luck streak going here at Zandvoort?
I don't know. I mean, Harry seems to be a good driver at real good times. I think he hasn't long just recent. I think he's had Monza. He won at Australia, and I can't remember if he won anywhere else. I think that's the only two places he's won this season.
Yeah, and he'll be looking to hopefully top that, to be honest. But we all know Harry, although, and I know you're probably watching this, he is, as we say, a brilliant, brilliant driver. Being in the championship fight in season 2, had a chance for it in season 1. He is up there, but he gets very, very unlucky at these tracks, and that unluckiness shines through with him, I think, the most, to be honest, throughout these 3 seasons. And
Oh,
he
and he
spun
spun
again.
again. Oh, and that one was on much more nastier crash as George goes past him there whilst he's on his lap. George has managed to take some lap time off of his original lap time. But what we'll obviously watch George to see what he can get. But I was gonna say, Harry. At the start of the season, we all thought Harry was getting very unlucky, and I'm pretty sure you could agree with me there, Dan, that he was getting very unlucky. Baku, there were some other tracks. I mean, Britain. Those are all the ones he was fighting for wins for, and then he got very unlucky with some incidences he had with such as Charlie, Preston. Um, I don't think there's. I don't know.
Oh, and
I think.
George has slipped out as well.
Yeah, but it's fine. He was going on the end up anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Oh,
But
okay.
Bradley is only 3 tenths slower than Preston right now. But like we was just talking about, Bradley seems to suit these fast-paced tracks, and he has proved us right, or should I say, he's proved me right by putting himself in the front row, joined alongside Preston.
Absolutely, and Bradley will be loving it after his unfortunate mishap in Japan, getting disqualified due to the glitchiness of the game. He'll be loving the fact he is back up there in P2 and able to potentially fight for the win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll be loving life. Brad is still yet one of the people to get a win in the DFL. So I'm sure he had a shot out in France. I'm pretty sure he might have had a couple other chances back in Bahrain. Then he had one shot he did at the very start. Um, I think he's definitely had a couple good opportunities, but I think his best opportunity so far was France when he was fighting Harry, and I think it might have been Preston. It might have been Harry or Preston he was fighting for the win in the end.
Absolutely, and hopefully he'll be looking to top France and make it his actual first win within the DFL. I think the only other person who doesn't have a win in the DFL right now, when I own 2 people actually, is Jake and Ritvik. The only other 2 people. Jake hasn't turned up very much, and Ritvik again got very unlucky most of the time during season 1 and season 2, and the 2 races he's appeared in season 3.
I was in the running for my first win out in Japan. So
That is very true also, and I think it may come in season 4, who knows?
yeah, I think definitely in season 4 I'm going to be sort of heavy focused on being able to perfect and every lap without making mistakes. But yeah, you're going to see a season 4. Everyone will be begging to watch again. So
Absolutely, and hopefully you guys do want to see season 4. If you do, then leave a like and comment down below saying you want a season 4 of the DFL, because you know it's coming your way either way. But people, now Callum's back on and he spun out again and straight into the Red Bull. Oh my word, Callum spins out, and I believe that was Jamie who just pummeled it into him.
I have no clue what's going on there. Not gonna lie, I was watching Bradley.
A very unlucky time for Callum, to be honest. Starting at the back of the grid alongside Charlie. This will be something.
Yeah, it definitely will be an interesting race. ahead of those two. It'll be a long day, but you know Charlie's pace. He is very quick and he will find ways to cut his way through the field. But at the moment, he didn't look so good in qualifying. He spun out on his first lap here at Zandvoort, and so that doesn't lead good signs for this race for him. But I'm sure the pressure will start to bear on him a bit more now with that championship gap only still a win away. So he knows he cannot afford to make no mistakes. He cannot afford to drop any points to Preston in these last three races.
Absolutely. Charlie will be hoping to get back up, but whether he can pull it out of his bag or not is another question. Do not doubt the skill of Charlie. We know he is a brilliant, brilliant driver, but can he pull it out today? Can he pull that greatness that he needs to get back up to the top and secure more points?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure he will. You know, he has always found ways to find his way back up to the top.
Bradley
like
spun as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very unfortunate with that those lot. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens. I mean, at the moment, I mean, I'm sure he will start to be thinking that the championship, he knows he cannot make mistakes. He knows he needs to score points now every time and he needs to score ahead of Preston.
And Harry spun again. He hit the curb and has spun again. A 5-place grid penalty. Oh no. Oh my word. This is not good. How do you work with this now if you're Harry? With a 5-place grid penalty, how do you do this?
Well, he will drop himself down to about 11th or 10th, 10th or 11th, as qualifying has finished now. Preston is on provisional pole at this current time. George has already set his last lap, and he could not improve by much, and he is very, very close with Jamie for that P3 fight. But Bradley, the only person at the current time who could probably compete, and he has, speaking about, he has spun, and it has not gone his way. It all relies on Jamie or George to Navy putting a lap. George is 2 attempts down, and I'm not quite sure if, I don't think anyone else is getting pole now. And this is another point that Preston will desperately need. Every point will count for him now, as he now takes that point gap down to 23 points.
Exactly. Preston will be loving this. The fact that he has got pole position here in Zandvoort with 3 races left to go. He has a chance now to bring that title championship fight so close in points and even overtake Charlie. Will he miss the opportunity? That's another question.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think Preston will miss the opportunity. I don't think he's that type of person to miss that opportunity. You know, he's a good driver and has a great skill set on him, but, you know, I don't think he will fumble.
That's fair enough, that's fair enough. And as Bradley now comes round the final turn to come onto the straight, he finishes our qualifying. There is no improvement for him today, so he sits in that P2 position. He'd rather take the longer route of going into the pits. That's just brilliant. Thank you so much, Brad. But yes, Bradley sits in P2. I'm sure he will be loving the fact that he has sat there in the fight for this win. Can we see Bradley get his first DFL win here today, people? You're just going to have to keep watching and find out. But before we get to the actual race, we're gonna head to the leaderboard. See you in a minute, people. And here we are with your qualifying leaderboard. Preston takes pole position. Bradley follows him in P2. Then comes Jamie in P3. George at P4. Harry in P5. Then if we go down quite a bit due to 2 DNFs, Callum sits in P19 and Charlie in P20. Will Charlie be able to get back up? And here we are for the Netherlands formation lap, people. I hope you're all having a brilliant day. Hopefully you're doing all right, and welcome back to Zandvoort. We have just seen an amazing qualifying you know, with Callum and Charlie at the back of the grid. Not a good time for Charlie at all, especially since he's looking to hold this first place in the championship. Will he still be holding it after today, Peter?
I mean, I'm sure he'll still be holding it. I'm sure he'll still score points, or who knows? I mean, I can't. I want to say that he will still score points, but you know, qualifying didn't really give me a good sign that he might do well in today's race. You know, so you know, who knows? I mean, it can be. I don't know. It's an interesting one. I mean, I have no answer for it, to be honest.
Fair enough, fair enough. But we shall see what happens. You just all have to keep watching this video if you want to find out whether Charlie stays on top or not. Who knows? But Callum sits in P19, of course, and we head up a bit. I did forget to mention Harry, didn't I? On the leaderboard rundown. I'm very sorry, Harry. I know you're a bit annoyed about that, probably. Harry sits it in P10. Not a bad position, obviously, due to his grid penalty. He is put down into P10. Not a great time for Harry, but I'm sure he can build back up and get those points. George in P4, Jamie in P3, Bradley, surprisingly, no offence Bradley, in P2. That is going to be quite an exciting time to see Bradley up in P2, to be honest.
Yeah, it could be an interesting time to see Jamie can do as well. You know, Jamie is right behind those lot, and then he's got George as well behind them lot. So, oh, and George has already bent it on the formation up, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it can be interesting. I'm sure Harry will have an interesting race ahead of him. Let the carnage go in front of him and just sit back and then pick up the pieces after that, and it will be game one for Harry. Preston's aim is to get a decent start, go into Tarzan corner and lead the race.
Exactly, whether that will happen or not is another question, but people, it may be time if the lights want to go on. Potentially, I hear the engines rumbling. There are no lights, and it's lights out and away we go apparently. What the hell is going on?
Preston has a good start into Tarzan corner as he leads the race in front of him. Jordan's already lost positions down into P9. Harry up into P8. Jamie's drops down to P6 right now, or P5, my bad. And now you have Preston is what he needed. He's left the carnage behind him. And he's now leading the race.
Yes, and Preston will be loving that. By the way, Pete, I cannot see the times or anything. There is nothing on my screen except the actual race. So you're going to have to call out the times and everything today. You know, bit of an error on there. But Preston does lead this race. He will be loving that. Bradley still follows him in P2. And I believe that's Jamie at P5. I literally can see nothing at all. Like, no names, no leader or nothing. It's brilliant.
George is currently down in P20. He is now accompanied by Charlie right now. Charlie has not made any moves as he goes down for a dive bomb, but he fights back and goes down around the outside. Charlie still tries to fight this back. George goes wheel to wheel with Charlie. These two, when we went wheel to wheel the first time around, didn't end so well in the Imola, but it is what it is now. And they head into Zandvoort, which is now, and they go still fight down the pitch straight. George pulls to the right hand side of Charlie. What will he do? Will he go down into Tarzan corner leading? George is on the hards. He goes down into turn 1 leading. Charlie now down into P20. George up into P18. He made 2. Oh, he didn't. Wait, is he?
Oh,
and George, he's just gone through and missed all that carnage that's just gone on there. Charlie up into P16, and that's
what the hell is going on?
And this has surely got to be a safety car because all that carnage.
I don't see any yellow flags popping up. I mean, I'm just going off by what I can see. It's totally green flags. The guys are still under racing conditions from what I believe. So there's nothing to happen. What? Charlie must have made some great positions up there.
Yeah, Charlie is now up into P10 as he missed all that carnage, and George up into P7. He is currently he's 4 seconds just behind Jamie right now. So he is currently chasing Jamie down for P6 as Preston sets the fastest lap with a 1:15.3, and he is out by 2 seconds leading this race.
Absolutely, and Preston will be loving that. The fact that he is potentially closing the gap on Charlie for this championship fight. Can Preston hold it together for the entire race? It's weird not knowing how many laps are left.
Yeah, it is, but it's fine. Preston will do everything he can. I'm sure of it. Will try and lead this race from start to finish. As Bradley now is slowly catching Preston up, just ever so slightly, just by a tenth or so in every couple corners they go through. So seeming like Bradley might be running a little bit more faster setup than what Preston is. So we'll see what goes on between those two right now. But the interesting fight is between Charlie and Harry, who are soon to be teammates next season, as Charlie has to get past Carlos Sainz.
Absolutely, whether Charlie can pull that off or not and show why he is the better teammate for Harry than Carlos Sainz is will be the interesting story. But I see that Harry is right behind him, or is that Carlos right behind him? I can't tell.
Harry is closing in on Charlie ever so slightly now, because Charlie is fighting Sainz, but Charlie will have DRS down the pitch straight. He will pull it to the left. He does pull to the left. Carlos Sainz sort of swerves on his left hand side there, but Charlie goes around the outside, goes wheel to wheel, but makes the move stick, and now up into P9. Now chasing Callum, but Callum slightly had a fall. Oh, and Sainz has had almost a bit of a tap-in with Callum there, but that's also almost helped Harry there a bit as well, as Sainz goes wheel to wheel with his teammate through the slivering section. They still go wheel to wheel. This is interesting. The two Ferraris going wheel to wheel with no team orders, and it's absolute all for nothing now between those guys. Nothing to lose at all, but Harry makes the move sticking now up into P10, having to get past Callum now.
Harry showing why. Oh, Callum spun out again.
It's very unlucky there for Callum, but I'm sure that has just helped out. Well, it has helped out Harry, and I'm sure he'll be happy to have not had to deal with Callum.
I think that's Callum again. He spun out again. I'm not sure if that's Lance Stroll. It's so annoying not being able to tell.
Yeah, Harry right now though, he is absolutely trying to fly through his way on this track and trying to gain time on Charlie, if anything. But it doesn't seem to look like he is gaining much time at this very moment. As we look to the top now, Brad has now finally closed that gap down to about a second. That will probably give Bradley DRS, and it has indeed given him DRS down on this back straight of DRS. But will Preston be able to hold on for this much longer, as he has got a nice healthy gap between him and Charlie at this very moment? So I'm sure he will want to try and keep it like this, or maybe if it is worth it, maybe give up the P1 and just let Bradley take it and not fight back, and then come back in the later stage of the race when he knows he has the time and has the pace to catch him up.
Absolutely. Bradley will be hoping he has that pace, but whether Preston can hold that gap or not, whether Preston can truly defend off Bradley will be another question. Bradley has to look inside of himself and find that attacking spirit and find the urge to attack Preston like he has never done it before.
Yeah, Bradley will be pushing his way 100%. You've seen these two wheel to wheel in France. It was brilliant stuff between those guys. And I'm sure we want to see more of that action again right now, as the gap is almost less than a half a second right now. And Bradley will have DRS. It'll be more effective on this back straight. What will Bradley do? Will he pull down to the inside? He'll just sit back a little bit longer, so he knows he has that pace. And and that is Callum again, who has spun once again. So now it will have Bradley. Oh, and Bradley, he spun it, as we were speaking about maybe trying to make effective of that DRS. He has now fallen behind by 6, 7 seconds. Now 8 seconds to Preston. That one crucial mistake has now proven to cost him a lot now in this race, and potentially a fight for the win here today. But Preston has absolutely got a healthy advantage over Bradley now.
Absolutely, and Bradley, whether he can get back up or not is another question, but Preston will be loving this gap. He knows that if he is to win today, depending on what the points are that Charlie can claim, he will be either catching up or have caught up and overtaken Charlie already in the championship.
If it was a stand like this, I'm assuming the championship would already Preston would have taken over the championship.
Wait, where is he right now? Where's Charlie?
P8.
P8, okay, so that would be 4 points. Currently there's a 23 point gap because Preston got pole position. So it could be very close, obviously 26 points up for offer. I think Charlie may just hold it.
I don't know, because Preston, if he gets busted up, he'll have 27 points in today's race. But he has Harry right behind him right now, Charlie does, and Harry will have DRS on this pit straight, and this will be crucial in the championship if Harry can make this move against Charlie, and if he can make it stick, he will try to pull down the inside. He will commit to the inside. He makes the move stick down the inside as Harry is on the softs, and he goes makes the move stick, but they still go wheel to wheel a bit more, but Charlie has to sit back now as he cannot make a move through the slithering section.
Very unlucky time for Charlie, but we know he does not give up and he will fight back at all costs and take what I believe is the P7 position, to be honest. Peter, if you were to check your phone right now, you will see my exact screen and why I cannot see any positions nor anything. But now Charlie is looking for the gap on the Alfa Romeo. If it's Charlie I'm looking at, which I'm guessing it is, he is looking for the gap on the Alfa Romeo. Now, can he get past him or not? That is the question. He is losing time, it looks like.
Yeah, Fernando Alonso is losing time, but George is trying to make a move on George Russell right now. Will George make a move on the other George? He does seem to be making that move, and he will go around the outside. They go wheel to wheel still. Will George get this 5th place? They still go wheel to wheel in this embankment area, but George will come out victorious in this battle between the battle of the Georges. But now we look down. Will Charlie seem to catch up to Harry, or will Harry be able to pull a gap away now from Charlie and maybe damage the championship a little bit more?
As we said before, Charlie and Harry are confirmed teammates in Season 4, but they are not helping each other right now. They both want the points out of this race. They both want to win this race. They both want to get higher than each other. So until Season 4, they are not friends. They will not help each other out for anything.
Yeah, but Jamie, what we haven't noticed at the moment is the top 3. Preston, Bradley and Jamie all within that top 3.
Very, very, very true. Now, Jamie being back in at the top will be a nice thing for him to finally show what he can truly do. He has done it before, but it's been a very unlucky time for him. So I'll be hoping to show and prove to everyone that he is a good racer. Yeah,
definitely. I'm sure he will be able to get a good result in today's race as well. But George right now, he is setting his eyes on Yuki Tsunoda. Will George make a move through this section? He will not. He was going to think about making a move here, but he knows he's faster than Tsunoda at this rate. And I'm sure he will make a move at the right time when it's more sensible to.
Absolutely. Can George find the gap through or not? We know that he doesn't give up. We know that he will push constantly until he finds that gap that he so truly wants. But will that opportunity present itself for George or not?
It definitely will. George is very, very close to Yuki Tsunoda at this very current time. He will have DRS going down on this pit straight. He is so close. He is less than a car width behind Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda squeezes him out tight, putting him close to the wall there. They have a bit of wall banging there a bit, but George comes out on top on this fight. But Yuki Tsunoda looks to have tried to come back, but he has not succeeded in this battle. George now looks fourth to Jamie now.
And what a battle that'll hopefully be between George and Jamie. I don't think we've seen them battle very often in this season so far, so it'll be nice to see how that ends, how each of them come out of this, whether Jamie stays on top, whether George can prevail and overtake Jamie or not.
I'm sure George has the pace to match with Jamie. Those two are very evenly matched in terms of pace around this track, as there wasn't much difference between those two. But George, he has to close a 5.6 second gap between those two. George is on the hards, and I'm pretty sure Jamie is on the mediums. As yes, he is. So he's on the mediums, where George is on the hards.
So that means that George will be going for the longevity, whilst Jamie will be looking to get the gap so he can pit, and that means George will not overtake him. But whether Jamie can make that gap happen or not is, again, another question entirely. But it does look like now Preston is still enjoying being on top. He is not giving this up for anything. He wants all 20, potentially 6 points from his race. I don't even know if he's got fastest lap or not. But if he does, he takes home all 27 points this weekend. That's 2 extra points to catch up to Charlie. And I think he's going to need them, since the fact from what I think I know is Charlie is catching up to Preston, going through each driver like it's nothing. Peter, you here? Peter seems to be gone. Some technical difficulties. This is not really good because I can't see times, nor can I see anything. But when I work with what we got, it does. Oh, I can't even tell who's who. I don't know numbers. Is that number? That's Carlos Sainz, so we don't need to worry about him. Where is Harry in all this due process? Or has he spun out again by accident? I don't know.
No, he pitted. So Harry pitted, but Charlie is in front of Harry now. After all this commotion, so maybe Harry might have had another spin whilst I was trying to sort something out real quick. But we now look to wait for more action to happen now, which is when people start to pit, and I'm sure it won't be long for people to start pitting.
Very, very true. What lap are we on now?
We're on lap 13 out of 36.
Okay, so only if my math serves me correct, 26 more laps left to go. No, 23 more laps left to go.
Yeah.
23 more laps left to go. Not too bad, to be honest. Enough time, potentially, for Charlie to catch up to Preston, if he can.
Nah, I mean, Preston's got a nice and healthy gap over Charlie, and you know there'd have to be so much to happen for Charlie to be able to get close to Preston.
Right, it's very true, but I mean, I genuinely think Charlie could have a chance here. I'm, you know, although it's going to be tough to get past everyone, we're only on, what, lap 13 out of 20, out of 36. That's, as we said, 23 laps left to go. That's still enough time to catch up. I don't know, obviously I can't see gaps. But from what I think, I think he could have a chance here.
Yeah, I mean, he's in 14th. He might have a chance to maybe get some points. Maybe, yeah, he might have a chance to get some points. But he will not be able to compete with Preston today.
Fair enough, fair enough. Any other battles happening currently at all? Anything we should be aware of?
Not really. I mean, it's not really much going on at the moment.
I
It's
mean,
all
I mean,
quite.
from going up, Bradley looks to be gaining on Preston.
No, it's not. It's not that. Those that for Hassan and McLaren are not the
Right,
ones.
right, Schumacher and yeah. Sorry, stupid idiot moment there. Um, I'm sure Bradley would love that, to be honest. Preston seems to have a brilliant gap now. As we said before, the fact is he's going to be loving that. And Callum is retired.
Yeah, he just felt that he couldn't really do much. He was constantly spinning, and he just thought he'd rather retire the car than make us just suffer. So he'd rather just quit now and have to, rather than not having to deal with constantly spinning.
That's fair enough. Zandvoort can be a very difficult track, as we expected. You know, it's a very how would you put it? Spinnable track. If you touch one curb, you spin easily. So, fair enough to Callum. He will come back in Brazil when we have the sprint race and the actual race, and it will hopefully be a good return for him after this race.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a couple of opportunities to get some decent results, but as we look in the future, we need to be looking at now and in this current time, as you know, we still got this race going on at the moment. So I'm sure Callum will come back with some decent results.
Very, very true. He is a very skilled driver, so do not count him out of anything. Yeah, I will say, season 4 I think will be very interesting. Teams coming back together. You know, this season we've had no proper teams, have we? So constructors hasn't really mattered, but we're bringing that back in next season. That does matter, and we will be mentioning it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, next season will be a lot different. There's like 4 or 5 different teams.
I believe we have 3 teams with 2 people in it, and then 3 teams with 1 person in it currently.
Yeah, so not so bad then.
Right, very, very true. But what's happening right now? I'm very sorry. I'm relying on you telling me so much. It's just
So
becoming very difficult.
along with Bradley, Jamie, those guys have decided to pit, and George will overtake them lot, but he will not be able to overtake Preston. So Preston has now officially led this race from start to finish with without losing lead to pit. So he could potentially have a grand slam in today's race.
And
I'm probably one of the only drivers of the out of the season I'd have to watch every race. But I mean, you know, I reckon Preston could be the only person to lead this race from start to finish if it stays like this.
that is very, very true. Preston will be loving it, as I've continuously said over and over, but I'm running out of things to say, to be honest. It's very, very difficult when you don't have the proper information. But Preston will be loving this. The fact he has got whatever gap he has got, and he has been leading this entire race now, it will just be what he wants. But George is on his tail now. We know from Miami especially, George and Preston can have an amazing battle. Of course, unfortunately, Charlie is not in the mix this time round. However, you still got 2/3 of that battle there, and they can put on a show.
Yeah, definitely. Back in Miami was probably one of my favourite races to commentate on. I don't know if there's been any more races sort of similar like that where it's been like this. Well, like Miami, but you know, if it hasn't, Miami has probably been the best highlight race of the season.
It's very true. It was a brilliant race, that is for sure. And wasn't it? I'll tell you now. Actually, it was Charlie who took that win in Miami.
Yes, in the end, Charlie did take the win in Miami, George getting very unlucky under that safety car. And yeah, he just got very unlucky in space safety car and then just spun out. And then, yeah, it basically gave Preston and Charlie the road to fight for the win.
That is very, very true. But we will have to see how this battle will finish with between Preston and George now. Both will be pushing to their absolute limits to make sure they get the best out of their car, out of their engine, to see who can top the other in this DFL Netherlands Grand Prix. You won't want to miss how this ends, I'm sure, people, no matter how many laps there are left.
Yeah, at the moment we're on lap 19 out of 36, and Jamie hasn't long just spun. He is in the pits, so he has just been overtaken by Yuki Tsunoda. Charlie up into P9 now, which is a good sight. He is scoring some points in today's race, but not enough to put a dent, well, to increase that championship gap by more. If anything, it'll probably maybe save him from Preston from taking this championship in today's race. But who knows what will happen. We still got basically like another 16, 17 laps.
And that is definitely enough time for things to change. If George can overtake Preston, that means Preston gets less points. The more Charlie builds up the grid, the more points he gets. That means the more points that he is ahead of Preston going into the final 2 races of the season in Brazil and of course in Abu Dhabi. Of course, we can't forget Abu Dhabi is a full race, full quali, so that's over 2 whole hours of DFL action right there. It is absolutely mental, but it will come down to that race, I'm for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I reckon it would be an interesting race of the season, and I'm sure it'll be some good fun.
And it appears Charlie, if that is Charlie, is catching up to Harry now with the DRS, but he cannot extend it far enough to overtake him. Is that Charlie on Harry, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I mean, they have Jamie right behind him as well. But Charlie looking like the faster car through this section now. He might have found his rhythm now on this very track and might be able to start increasing that pace that we all know he has in previous races. Oh, and he spun! He touched that curb and he has spun, and that is costing him true and dearly, and that is probably a bit of damage he's incurred there. But he touched that curb and got too greedy, and now he has Jamie chasing him.
And don't think that Jamie cannot overtake Charlie here. We know that Charlie is a brilliant racer, can defend it. But right now, if Charlie has damage, that puts him in an absolute weak spot that Jamie can take an advantage of. And it appears that Jamie may be taking advantage of it.
Jamie, he needs to make advantage on this. He will make an indent on this championship again. But that spin has cost Charlie there just a little bit. But Jamie opens up the DRS down the pit straight. What will Jamie do? Will he pull down to the inside? Will he go around the outside? He will choose to go around the outside. Oh, he almost makes slight contact there with Harry, but not Harry, with Charlie there. But he was able to stop the car just enough so he can not make any contact there.
That is very true, but do not think Jamie is out of this yet. He will carry on fighting, close that gap, and potentially, if Charlie cannot hold him off, overtake Charlie. But Charlie, we know, is a brilliant defender, so it's going to be a brilliant battle, that is for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Jamie will keep Charlie occupied for these laps, well, these upcoming laps they have ahead of him. But this will be a good bit of action between those two, because now the longer that Jamie keeps striking at Charlie, the longer it drags out the gap to up front and extends that for Preston even more.
That is very, very true. And now Jamie has another chance here at overtaking Charlie. He's even closer. Opened up the DRS. He is gaining on Charlie, looking to the outside again. He may get this overtake, but Charlie using the inside line may keep it, but no. Charlie manages to stay ahead again.
Yeah, Charlie doing good there to put his car in a difficult spot for making it harder for Jamie to overtake through that slight embankment and just into Tarzan as well.
And now Jamie has to push with all he can. Will he get another successful shot of this? He has to be hoping so. Oh, is this opportunity?
And Jamie tried going down the inside there. At that very moment, he got a bit too greedy and had to go over the curb there to avoid any contact, because Charlie wanted to squeeze him out as much as he could so he could stop him. But George puts in a 1:14.0 for the fastest lap of the race. So George is the quickest man on track at current time, but he has got quite a bit ahead of him to get past, to get to Preston. But Jamie, focused in on Jamie and Charlie still. Jamie still has that DRS down the pit straight, so maybe Charlie does have some damage. Will Jamie try go around the outside this time again? Will he not? He will. He will be trying to use that braking as a little bit more of an advantage. They slightly go. They almost bang wheels there for a second, but no contact, no major contact there made. Go through the embankment area. Will Jamie get a good run off? Well, good run off of that exit. He does seem to have got quite a good exit. Closing down that gap is a 2. Wait, it is a 3 attempts. Oh, and Charlie's been. Oh, it looks like he either spun out or stepped his rear end out there. But what? God knows what happened there. And that's another place he has lost in the championship.
And although Preston, it looks like, has lost a point due to George taking the fastest lap, that's probably another few points that Charlie has lost due to losing a position. What position is he currently in? Remind me.
He's P9.
P9, so currently, if it stays like this, Charlie will only be getting 2 points this race.
Yeah, and this will be crucial in the championship because it'll bring the championship gap down very, very low, and it will bring nerve to Charlie now. But Charlie decides to pit, and he will lose even more positions, and that will lose him even more time. And now that he will be scoring no points this race.
This is not good for Charlie. And is that a time penalty or something he was having? They just held him there for quite a while. I don't know what's going on. But yes, Charlie does mean he will be scoring no points currently unless he can find the absolute pace he needs out of that Renault engine.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie has has a long way ahead of him now. He is currently looking to try and find a way to, find more pace. He is in currently P13, so he has quite a bit of way ahead of him now to find get back into the points. So, does that pit cost him a bit in the championship, or will it be a play of master or a master play?
That, who knows? It's all down to Charlie and whether he can do that or not. But he will be definitely looking to build it up.
Yeah, definitely. And there's not really much action currently going on in the it's not really much action going on at the moment. Most people are pitted already, and Jamie and Charlie have stopped their fighting.
It's just kind of a race where nothing happens. You think you got loads of drivers in, something's bound to happen, nothing happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite an open track, and it's not really much. It doesn't leave much room for there's not really much room for a safety car. You've got so much runoff area. Like sometimes a safety car is not even necessary on this track.
Yeah, an unfortunate time, I tell you, for Callum as well. He's just messaged on my group chat saying how awful it is to truly race in Zandvoort. The constant spinning and everything, plus the lag he's experienced on top, it's not been a good time for him at all. Oh, and it looks like Bradley may be losing his position here. Due to... No, it doesn't. There was a Williams there and now there's not. So, I'm either being really dumb and stupid... What the hell is going on? No, there is Bradley. There's a Mercedes and an Alpine in front of him.
Yeah, what? But Bradley's
P4?
No, he's P2.
Okay, that's very weird. I'm confused, but again, I can't see anything, so... very sorry, people. I do apologise. Probably not the best commentator to have on a DFL race today. But hopefully we'll be back next week with when it's all fixed and better. But again, we can only rely on the game for that, really. What lap are we on now, if you don't mind me asking? Oh.
I said 27.
27, thank you. I didn't hear you. But 27 laps. So we have, what, 9 laps, 9 or 10 laps left to go here. So what a race it's been so far. We've experienced Charlie going head-to-head with Harry. Charlie going head-to-head with Jamie. Charlie seems to be the only one going head-to-head with people this race. Bradley trying to catch up to Present, almost doing so. Just got very unlucky. Callum DNF, and again a very unlucky time. It's been quite an eventful race so far.
Yeah, but it's about to get more eventful. Jamie and Harry are about to fight it out for P8. Well, no, P7 actually. And we're talking about that. We thought for a second that it was going to happen, and it hasn't. Harry went slightly wide, and looked like Jamie came through there, but Harry being able to hold his place. Charlie now moves his way up into P12, so he is slowly finding his rhythm, but he has to recover a 10-second gap in about 8 or 9 laps now. But Harry also has the chance to overtake George Russell, but I think George Russell's getting covered by that DRS out in front. If not, Harry is finding it a hard time to overtake. But looks like you're going to have a good opportunity for those three. Harry will pull down to the inside. Will Jamie pull to the outside? He might have lost the opportunity there to maybe follow through with Harry. As Jamie gets on that curb, but he hasn't spun, which is quite surprising because that turn 1 curb can be quite deadly if you get on it. But Jamie tries to go around the outside on the Mercedes of George Russell. Will George Russell keep this position? He has indeed, but Jamie seems to have got a good run, good exit out of the embankment, and now has to sit behind George Russell for just a little bit longer to pass.
And whether Jamie may get another opportunity, and he does. He passes George Russell with a nice clean overtake, no incidents involved. And now, once again, he has the Ferrari of Harry in front of him. Of course, Harry gonna go back to his old team Red Bull next season with Charlie. But Perry we haven't seen since season 1 Jeddah. Like I said last video, I don't know how that's going to turn out, but it'd be interesting. Jamie gonna head over to AlphaTauri. So Jamie potentially gonna show Red Bull right here why it was a bad decision to bring Harry back, and why it's a bad decision that he is gonna be moving to another team.
Oh, and no, Jamie there. He, like I said, that turn 1 curb is very deadly if you get on it, and this time he pushed it a bit too far, and he got punished for it.
Jamie trying all he can, trying to stretch the limits of the track and seeing how far he can go without spinning out, and meeting his match, meeting the limits right there, and unfortunately paying the price for it.
Yeah, like I said, that turn 1 curb is normally a painful area if you get on it, and it would cost you a race, and he was able to save it, but he's also been able to catch up to Harry as well. But I think Harry also has DRS on Fernando Alonso, which indeed he does, so they could be potentially fighting for P4, P5 and 6 now. It'll be a fight between those three now. So this will be interesting to see. With 6 laps left of this race to go, I'm wondering what could happen. Will Harry make that overtake into Tarzan corner on Fernando Alonso, or will he just have to sit back a little bit longer? Or will Fernando Alonso cost Harry and let Jamie overtake Harry, as Jamie gets awfully close there to Harry? Oh, and Jamie almost lost the rear end, being able to catch it once again. Good save from Jamie. He is getting extremely lucky right now to maybe stay in this race and compete with Harry. But if it's not lucky if you can continue keeping your car straight and able to save everything. But Jamie is looking very good with strong pace as he looks to try and make a move down the inside of Harry. He was going to do the same thing he did on Charlie, but he just wasn't able to get it done this time around on Harry. So he will just have to wait.
And whether Harry can defend him off or not is the question here. Can Jamie find the opportunity, the gap he is looking for here? He is pushing with everything he has got here. It's all or nothing really with that Honda engine for the Red Bull. He is going for it. Can Jamie make up that time?
Yeah, I'm sure Jamie can. It's only 5/10 of a second, and it's all very close. You know, Harry has DRS from Fernando Alonso, and Fernando Alonso's been able to hold off Harry.
Oh!
Harry is. Oh, Jamie makes some slight contact there with Harry, and Jamie sort of backs off because he knows he was in the wrong there for doing what he did there. Maybe a bit. He just broke a bit too late and didn't expect Harry to break as early as what Harry did. But they still get very close, and Jamie just having to back out once again.
Will Jamie get another opportunity, another chance at this? He will be hoping for everything that he does. He wants to get back on top and show that he truly has got what it takes to be a World Drivers' Champion potentially next season. Who knows? I think next season's World Drivers' Championship battles can be brilliant. It can be brilliant. But before we get into Season 4, you have to settle Season 3. And that's what we're doing right now. Jamie trying all he can to get, as I say, that opportunity. Will he get it on this straight with the DRS? It's looking like it, but Harry also has that DRS on Fernando Alonso. So Jamie will not be getting an advantage there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Harry's been able to hold this off very nicely and been able to hold Jamie off very nicely as well. But as Harry is getting slowed down there by Fernando Alonso, Harry goes wheel to wheel with Jamie. Jamie, will he make the move pay it off? No, he doesn't, but Jamie goes slightly right there and loses some time. I don't know what he did that for. I mean, he clearly had enough space to continue going the same direction Harry was going. But he just backs out there because he felt that it was very necessary for it to be done. But he's still very close to Harry. He hasn't lost major time. And will he eventually get past Harry? I mean, it shouldn't be long now, as he's very close to Harry this time. But Harry also has DRS, so I'm sure he's using ERS to maybe just give that extra advantage. And Jamie once again cut that corner, and Harry going slightly wide into that corner. And Jamie sort of having to almost avoid Harry there. Well, not making major contact, but will they go into the pit straight? Who will come out in front? Will Jamie get the DRS and get past Harry this time around? Who knows? Seems like Jamie's gaining and gaining and gaining, but it's just not enough for this man.
Jamie trying to pull everything he can out of his box, but it may not be enough. As I say that, Jamie tries to go on the outside, but isn't successful at all. He'll be looking to find another gap he can go down, but Harry also pressuring the Alpine of Fernando Alonso. Harry not giving up the prospect that he can get another position here. But of course, with Harry battling away with Fernando, Jamie is also catching up to Harry.
Yeah, but we've got a good old fight going on now. Charlie is in the points, but he also has he has Sergio behind him as well, who's also looking is looking very faster than Charlie at this current time. So will Charlie be able to hold off this? Will he be able to hold off Sergio or not? Is the question. He only has 2 laps remaining to just hold on to get 1 single point.
He will be pushing for it for everything he can push for, because he needs every single point he can get this race and in future races. This championship, oh
no, Charlie's gone. He's had made contact there with the barrier there. I think he might have made contact there with the barrier. I don't actually know what happened there, but Charlie, he's going to lose another spot. He did at the beginning, but he's also going to gain a couple of spots now as he makes slight contact there with Carlos Sainz. But Charlie's getting very aggressive there with the AI there to maybe get these moves done.
And Jamie's retired. What the hell has happened? What the hell? Jamie's just gone.
Yeah, I don't know.
We have no info on that until, unfortunately, we will try and find out what's happened. But yeah, he has retired. The whole battle with Harry and everything fallen apart completely now. Harry has free reign to run on Fernando Alonso and get this overtake. No longer worrying about what Jamie's doing behind him. He has free reign, and it may pull off here, and it does. Harry gets past the other Alpine of Fernando Alonso. A brilliant overtake, I must say. Nicely up another position here.
Yeah, definitely good stuff. Harry is now looking to set his eyes on that AlphaTauri, but it's a bit too late for him now. As we go on to the final lap now of this race, the man who's currently chasing the championship is chasing this lap down to the very end and is leading this race from start to finish. What's going on here? I mean, I have no clue what's going on here with Preston. He seems to be slowing down. This is not looking good. Has something happened? I don't actually know. Bradley could potentially get the win. He might be in low fuel mode right now, Harry. Preston could potentially low fuel mode as Bradley moves up into P1. This could be his potential first win of the season and of the league. But I don't know what's going on here with Preston. Preston is slugging around his way through the corners, and this is absolutely crucial for the championship. He is losing points to Charlie, and he's potentially lost the win as well, and I'm sure Bradley will round the final few corners to take the win. But I think Preston has got his fuel information, or should I say what he's put in, a bit too wrong, and he's been given a 10-second time penalty. This is crucial. What is going on here? And I'm sure Bradley will cross the line to come home in first place to get his first ever win of the league, and crosses the line and now is a race winner in the DFL league. We was just talking about it not that long ago, if he could potentially get a win in today's race. And Preston, will he get that he will definitely get a podium, but will he stay on the podium? Will he stay on the podium? Yes, he does indeed. He stays P3, but that's a lot of points he has dropped, and he will be very annoyed that he didn't get that right. He had that comfortably to the end, and then he just started to get slugging about. And Harry, he's still fighting about for this P5 slot. He has Fernando Alonso behind him. What will happen? Will Fernando Alonso be able to get him? He pulls over to the right-hand side to maybe cut off that slipstream, and Harry does get that P5. Charlie scores no points in today's race. That is not what he wants, but it is good for Preston though, because at least his championship rival isn't scoring points, so maybe what happened now isn't such a disaster after all. It still won't be what he wanted, but he has obviously cut down that championship by a lot.
Absolutely, and Bradley will be loving this. His first win within the DFL. Preston will be loving this, as you said, cut down the points majorly, both with major positives. I mean, I feel bad for Preston completely. You know, the low fuel mileage and everything messed him up.
And here we go. Bradley finally gets to walk out in the victorious spot. His first win of the season, and gets to spend it with George and Preston. And I'm sure Bradley will be absolutely flabbergasted with this whole thing. Getting his first win in the league is very big for him and McLaren, as he now can take that pressure off his shoulders and now look forward for these last 2 races and maybe do some more impact and get some more race wins or something, or podiums, who knows. But George and Preston join alongside him for this very special moment. And here we go. Here's your leaderboard. We've got Bradley in P1, George P2, Preston P3. And then we go down just a little bit further. Harry in P5. Then we just go down a little bit more further. Charlie in P11, scoring no points this race, but does take the fastest lap. And then we go down even more further. Jamie retired and Callum retired in P19. And that is it for your leaderboard.